Whenever we're trying to solve a polynomial equation, we should put one side equal to 0 and then try to factor the other. This is equal to 0 already, so we should just focus on factoring this. And the key to factor this is use the difference of two squares formula. Have a look. If we have a squared minus b squared, this is called difference of two squares. If we factor this, we will get a minus b times a plus b. That's the formula, but why is this the case? Let me explain real quick. So a square, we can look at it as literally a square, like this. Let's say this side is a, likewise this side is also a, and as you can see, the area right here is just a squared. Minus, meaning that we're just going to cut a corner off. Cut a square off, another square right here. Let's say we have this right here. This is b and also b. And as you can see, this area here is b squared. So we're just trying to get this blue area here. Originally it was a squared, but we are subtracting b squared. So this is no longer here. So let's just erase it, right? Let's just erase this right here. So we have this picture. So what do we do? Check this out. Remember this much is b, yeah? Let's go ahead, make a cut right here. So we have this rectangle, and then put it here. So this becomes, we have this, that. This much is b, originally was a, so this much is what? A minus that much. So this right here is a minus b. Because we took that away. And of course, we want to put this back here. So we have this b right here, right? This b right here. And then we're just going to have this rectangle attached to here. This is a, this much is b. So of course, we just add b to it. As you can see, here we have a rectangle, and the area of this rectangle is just a minus b times a plus b, which is that formula. Perfect. Okay, so to solve this equation, first let's put this into the difference of two squared forms. Let me show you how. Let's open parentheses squared and then minus open parentheses squared just to get ready. And then we ask ourselves, what square will give us x to the fourth power? The answer is x squared. Because when we have x squared and then square that, we multiply the powers, we get a 4. Next, what square will give you 16? The answer is 4. Right? 4 squared 16. If you put a minus right here, that's okay, because indeed, minus 4 squared, you still get 16. And you will still end up with the same answer after you apply the formula. So perhaps just easier if you keep this and that positive. You can try it if you have a negative here and then apply the formula, you still end up with the same thing. So now, here we see that the a is the x squared and the b is the 4. Apply the formula, factor it, we will first get this, which is x squared, and then minus that, which is 4, times this, which is x squared, and then we add this, which is 4, and that is equal to 0. The first part right here is still a difference of two squares. Here we have x squared, and the 4 is the same as 2 squared. So we can use this formula to factor this one more time, and then we will get x minus 2 times x plus 2. Now, here is the trouble. How do we factor x squared plus 4 though? Let me write this down right here for you guys. In fact, x squared plus 4 is not factorable with real numbers. And please do not say this right here is equal to x plus 2 squared, because they are not equal. Here's the deal. If you write this down, well, if you work this out, you get x plus 2 times x plus 2. Multiply this out, we get what? X times x, that's x squared. And then don't forget we still do x times the 2. So plus 2x, and then this times that is plus 2x, and lastly, this times that is plus 4. As you can see here, we have this extra 4x, right? To get this 4x, we didn't have the 4x here. So this is not the same as that. So now, how do we factor this? Let me tell you, we will actually need to use imaginary number, and that's our secret weapon. So check this out. I would still like to use the difference of two squares formula to help us out. So let me purposely write this as x squared, and then the plus as minus negative. Minus minus, we'll still get a plus, yeah? Now, let's see. I want to figure out what square will give me x squared, and then bring down the minus, and what squared will give us minus 4. To fill in this, easy, just x squared. Here, what square will give us negative 4? Let me tell you, we need a 2, because 2 square will give us 4. And we need the imaginary unit, I. I squared gives us this negative. Together, we have negative 4. So right here, let me make a note. I is the imaginary unit in the way that if you square the I, you end up with negative 1. So that's how we get that. So now, over there, we can go ahead and factor it. I'll put this down right here. This right here will be the A, so we have x, and then minus, the B is 2i. So we will have 2i times, of course, A plus B, so x plus 2i. And all equals 0, like that. So, as you can see, to solve a polynomial equation, you want to factor as much as possible, and that's exactly what we did. Sometimes use imaginary numbers if necessary. And the final step is you make each factor equal 0, and then you just solve them individually. For this, just add the 2 on both sides, so x equals 2. First answer. For this, subtract the 2 on both sides, so x equals negative 2. For this, bring the negative 2i to the other side, becomes positive. So x equals positive 2i. And then finally, we have x equals negative 2i. So here, as we can see, we have 4 solutions to this equation.